Hello, this video is one part of a series of videos that will walk through the setup of Cisco's Business Edition 6000 or BE6K. In this walkthrough, I will go through the setup of Unified Presence. Before we get started, I wanted to note a few things that need to be configured for Presence that has already been configured in the previous videos. The line and device user associations were completed in the CUCM initial configuration video, and the directory number association was completed in the CCX walkthrough. With that in mind, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that needs to be done is configuring Communications Manager for Presence. So we'll start by adding the Presence server as an application server. We'll do that by going to the System menu and going down to Application Server. On Application Server, we're going to add a new one. For server type, we're going to choose Cisco Unified Presence Server. And next. For the name, we're going to put in the IP address of the Presence server. And then we'll click Save. Next, we're going to modify the trunk profile. So we'll go to System, Security, SIP Trunk Security Profile. Should be just one, and we'll choose that one. And then we're going to check these four boxes here for accept Presence subscription, how to dialog, unsolicited, and replace its header. Let's save. Next, we're going to go to device trunk. We're going to add a new SIP trunk. So click add new. Trunk type is going to be a SIP trunk. Automatically it'll change to SIP protocol. Next. Come over here and give it a name. Next, we got to choose the device pool. We'll choose a default. That's the only one that's on this system right now. Then we'll scroll down to the SIP settings, SIP information. Destination address is going to be the IP address of the Presence server. We got a couple of mandatory settings. SIP profile. Hit save. And we'll go ahead and say OK on this. And we'll reset it. Click reset again. And close. Next, we're going to change some system parameters. We're going to go to System, then Service Parameters. We're going to choose the Communications Manager Server IP. Service, we're going to choose the Call Manager Service. And then we're going to do a Control F. We're going to find CUP. For CUP Publish Trunk, we've got to change that to the trunk that we just created. Now we're going to scroll down to the Presence section. And then we're going to change this setting here to allow subscription to inter-presence groups. Looks good. We'll hit save. Alright, next thing we're going to change is our credential policy. So we're going to go to User Management, Credential Policy Default. We've got 3 of them here we're going to change. We're going to do the same thing to each one. We're going to uncheck the box for user must change the next login and does not expire. We're going to check that box. So this isn't a necessary step that you have to do, but if we're doing it in the lab here, but if you don't do it and if you need them to change their password at next login, then you'll have to have them do that through the user page of Communications Manager. And if it does not expire, then you may want to have them change it periodically. Okay, now that we have that set, we're going to go to the end users now and change their PIN and digest credentials. So we're going to do that for user 1 first. First, we'll change the PIN. Something real simple, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing for confirm. Then we're going to scroll down this page here to the digest credentials. Put the password in there. and then we'll save. Alright, so that was user 1. Let's go back and do the same thing for user 2. So we'll select user 2. Change the password 12345. And then we'll change the digest credentials as well. But that's it. We'll save. Okay, now it's time to add our CUPC clients. So we're going to go to Device, Phone. We're going to add new. For phone type, we're going to scroll down to the bottom here and choose Client Services Framework. Hit Next. So we're going to put the device name in. Doesn't matter what the name is, unlike older versions where you had to start with UPC and then the username. For device pool, it's default. No calling search spaces or anything like that. A couple of default settings we got to change. Phone button template. For owner user ID, we're going to choose user 1 because it's going to be his. And then primary phone is going to be CIPC 1. We've got some SIP information we've got to change here. SIP profile, device security profile, and digest user is user 1. And we'll hit save. Okay, on this apply the config. We'll go ahead and do that now. Hit apply config. Okay. Now we're going to add a new DN. It's going to be a shared line between the CIPC client, so we're going to put 3001. So since this is a shared line, as you see, some of the settings get carried over. There's a few settings down here at the bottom we're going to change. For this particular line on this device, we're going to change the caller ID. And then we're going to scroll down and associate end users, just as we did with the other line. We're going to associate user 1, and we're going to hit save. So we're going to do this a second time for the second CUPC client. So we're going to do device, phone, add new. For the phone type, it's going to be Client Services Framework. Hit next. Device name, again, it doesn't matter what the name of it is, unlike previous versions. Device pool, mandatory setting. We only have the default device pool. Phone button template, another mandatory setting. And we're going to scroll down, set the owner user ID to user 2. And the primary phone to be CIPC2. And then we've got some SIP settings down here, device security profile, and we've got the SIP profile we've got to set. And the digest user is user 2. We'll save. Hit OK, and then we're going to apply the config. So we're going to add a DN. It's going to share the line with the CIPC2 client, which is 3002. Again, the settings get carried over. And we're going to scroll down, change the caller ID, and then we're going to associate the end user, user 2, to this particular line. So that's selected, and we're going to save. Okay, now we're going to associate these two devices with the end user. So we're going to go to User Management, End User. We're going to do User 1 first. Scroll down to Device Association. Click Find. We'll check the box next to User 1 CFS. Hit Save. Alright, we'll go back. Related links, we'll hit Go. Hit Go one more time, get back to the user list, and we're going to do the same thing with User 2. So we'll scroll down, associate that second device, check the box, hit save selected changes, and we're good to go. Okay, now we're going to go to System menu, add some capabilities to these users. So we're going to go down to Licensing, then Capabilities Assignment. I do a find, highlight user 1 first. We're going to enable cup and cup C for this user. Let's save. Let's go back, do user 2. Same thing, check these 2 boxes here. And we'll click save. Okay, we're going to add a couple application users now. The first one we're going to add is a phone messenger application user. This will be used for the phone messenger application that's on your phone. So phone messenger. It's going to match what's on presence. Put a password in. And then we'll check these boxes here. And we're going to give them control over CIPC 1 and CIPC 2. And hit save. Then we're going to add another application user. This time it's the CTI Gateway user account. This is going to match what's in presence. Give it a password. And then we're going to give it control over our 2 phone devices. And then we're going to add some permissions on this particular user. We're going to give them a couple. We're going to hit find. And then we're going to check the box next to allow control of all devices and standard CTI enabled. We're going to save. And that's it for Communications Manager. We're going to hop on the CUP server now. Run through the post installation setup wizard. So we're going to log in. And this is a fresh install, so this is what you're going to get when you first install it. You're going to get this post install setup. So we're going to run through this real quick. Host name, doesn't really matter what that is. We don't have DNS running, but the IP address is important. So we're going to put that in there for our Communications Manager. Next, we're going to put in our Axle user. This is a user that has the standard Axle API access role assigned to it. The default admin account will have that already assigned, or you could create a separate account that just has that role. Right, next, put in the security password. And that's pretty much it. We'll hit confirm, and we'll hit the home button to go to presence. Alright, the home screen, we're going to go to serviceability. We're going to turn on some services. Go to the tools menu, service activation. We're going to check the box for set to default to check all the boxes. Say OK. And then we're going to uncheck these 2 here because we're going to need them unchecked to do some configuration later. So we're not going to start them just yet. We'll scroll down and start the Axle Web Service as well. Everything else looks good. So we're going to hit save to activate them. Click OK on this, and now we're going to go to our control center, turn off a service that will need to be turned off to configure some settings in presence. So we're going to go and turn off the Cisco UP-XCP router. We're going to stop that. That's stopped. Let's go back and start configuring presence. So we'll go back, click go. So we're going to hit System, Cluster Topology. Expand this and highlight the server name. As with all applications, we're going to reduce our dependency on DNS. We're going to change the server name to an IP address. And we're going to hit save, hit OK on the next couple pop-ups here. and it's changed. Next, we're going to go to settings. We're going to change the domain name to match what is specific to our application. So we're going to save. Now we're going to go into the service parameters and choose our server IP. And then this particular service is going to be the SIP proxy service, which we didn't turn on earlier. So now we can change some parameters in here. And we're going to scroll down to this Federal Routing Cup fully qualified domain name, and we're going to change this. You must change this to something. It has to be changed, so we're going to put this in here, and we'll click Save. And OK. For some reason, sometimes that doesn't take, so we're going to go ahead and hit Save one more time. And now it says Update Successful. So let's go in and configure our gateway. I'm going to hit Add New. And description, we're just going to put CUCM01, and then we're going to put the IP address of our communications manager, which is our gateway. We'll click Save. Next, we're going to change some settings for our personal communicator. So application personal communicator settings. We're going to add the TFTP server address here. Then we're going to hit Save. Okay, next we're going to change our LDAP for our personal communicators. We'll go to Application, Personal Communicator, then LDAP Server. I'm going to add a new one. For name, we're just going to put MSAD. Host name, IP address, we're going to put that IP address of our Active Directory LDAP server. We're going to hit Save. And we're going to go into Personal Communicator again, then do the LDAP Profile. I'm going to add a new one. So we're going to give this profile a name. For the distinguished name, we're going to use the administrator account on our Active Directory server. We're going to put a password in there for it. Search context. They're all in the users container, so we're going to put them in that. And the primary LDAP server will be the one we just created. And we're going to make this the default. I'll scroll down here and add our users to this profile, the 2 users that we have in our system. So we're going to hit Find. I'm going to check these 2 here and say Add Selected. And that's it with the profile. So let's save. Alright, now we're going to go do our CTI Gateway profile. We're going to modify that. We have an automatically generated one. We're going to make this one the default for this system. We're going to add our users to this profile. User 1 and user 2. Add selected. And they're both in there, so we're going to hit Save. Alright, next we're going to change our proxy settings. We're going to go to Presence, Routing, and then Settings. And then our preferred proxy listener, we're going to change that to the TCP listener here. And let's save. We'll hit OK on this pop-up, and then we're going to restart all proxy services. And then another OK. Alright, next we're going to go to Application, Desk Phone Control. We're going to Settings. Modify these settings, and we're going to turn this on. As you can see, the username is the one we created earlier in Communications Manager. So we're just going to set the password that we set earlier. And then the Communications Manager address, we've got to put that in here. And it will save. Okay, so we're going to enable desk phone controls. We're going to hit go on this related links here. We're going to hit find, and then we're going to say select all, and we're going to assign these two users to enable desk phone control. Next, we're going to set up the phone messenger application. So we're going to go to application, IP phone messenger, and settings. By default it's on, and the application username, as you see, should match what's in Communications Manager, what we created earlier. Just because it has a password in here, we're going to make sure that it does match what we set in Communications Manager. And we're going to hit save. So that's it for the presence configuration. We're going to go ahead and turn back on those couple services we left unchecked earlier. So we're going to go to serviceability, and we'll go to tools, service activation, and we're going to check these two services here and get them started. Say OK, and they're activated. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do is restart our router. We're going to use the PuTTY client to SSH into our present server. After reboot, it will also restart that service we stopped, that XCP router service. So we'll log in as an admin. And we're going to do the command utils system restart. Going to hit enter. And yes, we really want to do it, so we're going to type in yes and hit enter. So that completes the present server configuration for the BE6K. And this also ends the BE6K video series. So if you followed all the videos through, you should now have a fully functional BE6K system. As always, thanks for watching, and thanks for choosing Cisco.